So faith is something that we all understand internally and intellectually. And we gloss over it a lot, but us as spiritual and religious people, we never really get beyond faith, or we can never get beyond it. It's always there. We always have to deal with it. So there's nothing wrong with your devotion being reviewed and your faith being renewed. You have to review your devotion. You have to ask yourself, yes, I'm comedic, but am I more comedic than I was last year? Am I comedic as I should be this year? So your devotion has to be reviewed and your faith has to be renewed. That's why we went on the fall equinox retreat, to renew our faith. It's the same people and we still observe the equinox like we should, but we took it out of this environment. We took it out of this environment the same so we could allow ourselves to see each other different as well as this legacy different. And we was able to experience it on another level. So all of us who went on a retreat, we came back with renewed faith. So you have to review your devotion and renew your faith. That's why we have ceremonies, rituals, and holidays. It's constant ways to renew and review your faith. That's why we pray 4 times a day, so you can stop 4 times during the day to make sacred your reality. Because it's easy to get caught up in this nonsense out here. Some people say, well, that's redundant. I don't like rituals and structure. It's redundant, but the rituals are there so your life wouldn't be redundant, because we easily forget. Before you did the spiritual thing, before you had to pray and meditate, wasn't your life redundant? You getting up, go to work, eat 3 times a day, go to sleep, eat, get up, go to work, eat. You just start like, what's the purpose of this whole thing? So now you're like, let me step back and make sacred a few moments to remind myself what this thing is all about.
That's right. That's right. Teach it.
And those people who don't like the structure of the ritual, they think it's redundant, they don't have to do it. But if you look at those individuals, they don't have any more peace of mind than you do they? Matter of fact, if you really investigate, they're the most discontentful and hateful people you know. So the rituals and the ceremonies prevent you from feeling like things are being redundant in life. You know, in certain relationships, redundancy is bad. You start thinking the grass is greener on the other side. You start thinking your relationship is, I'm tired of this, yeah, I've been here, I've done that. But that person seems more interesting. And that's dangerous. You jeopardize your whole relationship because of your perception on what you think is redundant. That's why your devotion has to be reviewed. Your vows and everything like that has to be reviewed because you're changing every day, correct?
That's right.
Same thing happens in spirituality. Some people think it's, yeah, I came to the communion, I've done the rituals and it's cool and stuff, but you heard what they doing in Brooklyn? That other master, they supposed to be able to levitate over there. Because you think your stuff is redundant. And even if you left and went over there, you still gonna have to go through the whole process again. You're gonna have to earn your spot. They're gonna give you what? Ceremonies, rituals, and the same thing you learned over here. And probably you still ain't gonna be able to meditate, and that's gonna become redundant and you're gonna see something else. So that redundancy is the aspect of your lower mind. We're not talking about redundancy, we're talking about discipline that breaks you out of the perception on what you think is redundant. So some people gloss over the significance of faith and they think they want to talk about other things. There's other things more important, but there's nothing more important than faith, because none of your projects can succeed if you have no faith. So we have to have greater faith because we already have faith, as I said. So other people want to talk about other things, like what? All these other things are distractions. There's negative distractions and there's positive distractions. The negative distractions are what? Women and men. You hear men talking at any given time. I wish I could have all the women in the world. If I couldn't have all the women in the world, I wish I could have those 3 right there. You hear men talking about, if you could have any 3 women in the world, which would it be, brother? And they be answering the question, I have Holly Berry because I have Beyonce because this conversation is actually going at the workplace. Is how people talk. These are distractions. Women do the same thing. Let me dress myself up to seduce somebody or a man so he could take care of me and pay my bills. When both of them got it wrong, when they should be concentrating on being whole people. When you concentrate on being whole people, you stand in your spot, erect. As you stand erect, you build up your electric and your magnetic energy. That's your God force. When you build up your God force, you automatically become magnetic. You don't have to search and chase for things. When you're chasing for things, that means what? That means something's running. So you're never gonna get it. So you have to be magnetic and it comes to you, and that magnetism translates into what we call charm. What else? Materialism. People chase after materialism. Spiritual people are materialists. We're not materialistic. We're materialists. So some people want the biggest, better, the biggest, best car. They want the best house or the best neighborhoods. They want 3 cars. That's materialistic. I said spiritual people are materialists. It's the word material. You have the word what? Matter in it. We've been through this hundreds of times. Matter is what? A slowed down form of what? Energy. So matter and energy is the same thing. Now you begin to understand how spiritual people are supposed to be materialists. So if you claim you're spiritual and you have abundance of spiritual energy, then you should automatically be a materialist. You should have material things because what did I just say? You become magnetic. So as a spiritual person, you should be able to materialize what you want, not in a magic sense, but if you were that strong, you could do it automatically. But your illusory self and your God self contradicts each other, so you won't be able to manifest something right away anyway. So you need what we call time. And in that time, you go back and forth with fear and doubt about, yeah, I'm God, or no, I'm not. Yeah, I believe today, and 8 days you don't believe. And that's why it takes your thing so much time to manifest. So when you become magnetic, things come to you. And that's why most spiritual people are required to be charitable. Even the Muslims, they got the belief in Allah, they got belief in Muhammad as the prophet, belief in fasting, and they got one called zakat, which is charity. Why should you be charitable? Some people say, I'm broke already, and they ask me to give away what I got. Like, no, you could give this away, and they're like, wow, you're giving this to me? Like, yeah, I'm giving it to you because boom, something else just came. You got something else to concentrate on. You appreciate that, and I'm gonna give this to you, and boom, something is constantly coming. Your thoughts and everything you want constantly materialize because you're magnetic. You don't gotta chase it, it comes to you. All that's required of you is not faith, but greater faith.
That's right.
And then you have alleged worthwhile distractions, which people couch behind the word concerns. Because I'm concerned with the economy. It's a distraction. I'm concerned with the president's medical plan. I'm concerned with crime in the community. I'm concerned in Agenda 22. I'm concerned in racism. And sometimes you could be so divided between personal concerns and social concerns, you ain't even review what you have faith in, or do you have faith or not. Just to be so-called concerned with those things mean you're lacking faith.